Oh, that's cute. That's my sister and me when I was a kid. Me, that's my mum. Obviously, a very long time ago. Me and my sister again.
Something strange happens when you see your parent or parents acting like children. You can't also be a child. My parents separated quite dramatically when I was about 7. I moved out when I was quite young, so I think I was 16. My mother actually used to grow marijuana. If you're prone to, or you've got like a predisposition to any sort of mental illness, that can be really bad, and my mum did, so that's where it was not great for her. She used to always tell me that I was the bad child and I was terrible and I made her do all these things, and she used to use a lot of like emotional blackmail and guilt to get me to do things, and I made the decision to not speak to her anymore. I ended up moving in with my sister. She was a dancer and she was always like smarter than me and fitter than me, and we spent a lot of time sitting around the house doing nothing, and she was like, no, I'm gonna get fit, and I was like, okay, all right, cool, what are you gonna do? We went together to the Davies studio in Paran. And it was just so fun, and it was great because I found something I was kind of good at straight away. Like, I didn't go in and I wasn't massively insecure, and I wasn't, I don't know, like massively behind. I wasn't struggling with like the comprehension of any movement or music, and I loved that it was music because I was never a dancer. We started doing like our beginners course, and it just became this cool little underground world thing, which is so addictive, being part of something very different like that. You know what? Okay, so I was in a relationship at the time with a guy who was 19 years older than me. We had my 21st and his 40th in the same year. My emotional maturity was starting to surpass his, which probably isn't really that much of a mystery considering he was 40 dating a 21-year-old. And I know why I was with him, because it was stable. And I found like I needed to cling to that for a bit until I realised maybe I could outgrow it, and I found pole. And pole became the stable thing. That pole and me, we're like this. Like, you know, we trust each other and stuff. Never hurt me real bad.
I don't think there's anything wrong about an activity being sexual. We're so puritanical that we can't actually see that there's athletic prowess in an activity that's also has sexual connotations as well. Pretending that it's not sexual, I think, is mischaracterising it. I think that we need to acknowledge what it is, but equally not consider it to be worth demonising just because sex is involved. Pole dancing started as sexual. It's now being integrated into an athletic, into a gym activity, into something that people do disconnected from sex. That doesn't make the origins irrelevant. We've become this culture that, particularly when it comes to women's activities, that we need to find them somehow making a political statement for them to be legitimate, when in fact, no, I just like it and I own that. Why can we not also do that? I think we need to be better at being more inclusive and less judgmental. If I was looking at this as a feminist perspective, what other burden do I have?
The stigma that's attached to pole dancing, I think, is it's an old conversation, and I understand that it's still a problem, and I think it's bigger in different parts of the world, and in my world, it's not a problem. That stigma of, pole dancing is stripping. I'm like, well, no, it's not. And I'm not offended about people asking whether I am or were a stripper or not, because that would insinuate that stripping's bad, and I don't think it is. I think it's actually quite flattering if someone's like, oh, you a stripper? I'd be like, thanks, boo. No boobs, and people think I'm a stripper. That's great.
One of the things that girls usually like a lot is just that you're having fun, and then you realize, oh my god, I can do that, oh, I can do that too, and I'm upside down, I'm doing all these kind of things that you thought at first would be impossible. You can really do anything that you want with a pole.
Pole dancing for me is my rock. It's like my happy place, it's like my home. It's fun.
It just had that thing. I don't even know what that thing is, and it still has me. You can do tricks, you can just dance, you can get a little bit sexy. There's just no boundaries.
We all come together and are excited about the same thing, and we all understand the same thing. It's empowering. We're not doing it for anyone, we're doing it for each other, and isn't that awesome?